Hey, how's it going? I'm not trying to diss anybody or gay people or anything, but I have to bring up a couple of different different issues that I have um, with not with being gay, but with the gay marriage thing. Um, and also, I'm going to drag the Supreme Court into it too. But first thing is, I wanted to explain why I don't do a video on this channel every day is because I don't like the news. So when I do these videos, it's because I'm concerned and I feel like broadcasting. So I don't do it necessarily for money or anything like that. I haven't made any money doing this. I do it because I'm compelled because it something inside makes me feel concerned or something. I have grievance, and this is a way I can get it out how I feel. So I thank YouTube again for at least allowing me to express my opinion and letting other people know how I feel. So you can agree or not. I'm gonna always have somebody, lots of people that are gonna agree with me what I say. So that's why I don't do videos all the time. So now, before I get into this gay issue thing, I want to explain to people how immoral this country has got with the leadership or non-leadership. We put a non-leadership character in the White House, so we're actually being led by somebody who is their character is not a leader, not somebody who is somebody you look up to, go to for advice, even probably hang out with. I wouldn't even hang out with the guy. So, and my father was telling me not to drag his wife into it, but I have to make a quick point with her and how they are. I've been saying for a while now that I believe that our president and first lady deserve to have their children removed from them and actually have CSD or whoever the agencies are. I'm from Oregon. That's what they call it in Oregon. Child custody care people. Those type of government people need to go and remove. They should have done it when I first said it years ago. It was probably over 4 years ago, but it was it was during the time when they were making an issue with Obamacare about condoms and abortion. So what the first lady said was, she said instead of saying something moral and something that would help her character out, as far as my opinion, somebody who is looking to be looked up to, she said the wrong things. So she didn't get that with me. So what she said was, she said, and I'm quoting Michelle Obama, our first lady, and this is what she said. She said, if my daughters were to get pregnant and need to have an abortion, would want to have an abortion, then I would only hope that they could get the right treatment and care that they needed. So that's the message that she's sending to her young daughters back then. It was years ago. It wasn't where they're at now. So there's no telling what kind of baloney goes on at the White House and how far the extent is that they are um, basically laying out their liberal um, mind and agenda on their own children. So makes me kind of wonder how they really, they think that they deserve to have children. I don't. I think that they should go to maybe a relative of theirs or somebody who is a little bit more responsible. And I want to hear an answer like this. And since somebody asked me or somebody about if I had a daughter or somebody I cared about, right, took care of, and they said something about abortion or condoms or something like that, I would say I would only hope to God, I would only hope to God that my daughter wouldn't have this issue, that my daughter would stay safe, and that she wouldn't be out having sex or anything else that would lead to an abortion or having to use a condom. I would hope that um, that she would wait until she got married. As far as boys go, for that matter, I hope the same thing for my boys too. Don't listen to them, son. Not having sex is not an issue. You know, they're just putting on peer pressure or whatever. You know, I'm not gonna look at them any differently. There's no way you can really look differently, I don't believe, at your children once you have a child and they're part of yourself. You just hope that they don't turn homosexual or something else that's bad that might be, they might need to make a few more considerations. And plus, I come from a religious perspective, so I would want to include God and pray and ask Him for guidance, not to go stomping off, interpret the Bible or whatever else, and take that all on my own and use it for my own thinking. How some people come up with clever ways to think about certain things, but so I just want to know a simple question about the gay marriage thing. I said before, I told you how you could do this. You could, it's gay people, if they're in a gay couple relationship, they need to go to, they needed to go to a lawyer. And I was saying this stuff back before these eggheads made these decisions, unconstitutional. Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court comes in and bullies this situation with something that nobody really wants. There's such a small amount of people that there might be more now, but back in the day, what they did was they changed the law. The 7 million people, the majority, a huge landslide, came out and voted against gay marriage in California, and the Supreme Court overruled those people. So they spit in our vote in the wind. They spit at it. They mock. The Supreme Court's like, yeah, sure, we'll spit on your vote. We'll spit on it. They are so unconstitutional. It's unbelievable. So I said that gay people need to go talk to a lawyer and get legal assistance. That way, if they go overstate, get injured or something, wind up in a hospital somewhere, even wherever they're at, they're safeguarded legally through going through means of an attorney. Not to get married. Do you guys really need to get married? You need to have some kind of ritualistic type of name that goes to your gay marriage couple. Okay, so I said that was one way suggestion. How I gave there was pretty simple and it sounded good to me, logical. You can go and safeguard your relationship with an attorney. But my opinion, you're living in sin and you're going to drag my country down and you're going to desecrate my country to the point where I'm not talking about just being gay, but this openly thing and telling the immorality of telling children, and then you're going to tell churches, like you're going to push them around. And also what it says to, right now is a really bad time for this, in particular with a liberal president who is so far gone off his leftist extreme ways. And other people are sitting there supporting him and still trying to defend him and protect him. But he has created a peony little entity, ISIS, this little puny little piece of garbage that isn't significant. It's insignificant at the most. It's just invisible almost, right? This Obama has bolstered them up to being an army, which I don't still believe that they are anything great. I think that they're a bunch of weak cowards, and I believe that they're all going to be wiped off the planet before some other biblical things occur or happen. Um, a few have already happened that Jesus predicted in the Bible, and the Bible also predicted in Revelations. So if people want to refer back to that, you have an internet with a search engine and a Bible. Every person should have a Bible that you can at least go back and see and make sure that it said that. So uh, that's another story, but I truly believe ISIS is going to be wiped out, and people aren't even going to blink at it. It's going to be God is going to have something to do with it, and people are still not even going to blink whenever it comes to their salvation, and believing and stuff like that. But that's the way human beings are. We uh, dramatize things. So here, and I'm getting onto a biblical, religious type of track because they only bring up the Catholics. Like the Catholics are the only ones offended with this and Obamacare, how it forces different mandates that are against what Christians would believe in particular. So I'm just kind of disgruntled a little bit about that being being a different denomination than Catholic in particular, not having anything to do with Catholics. I'm a Protestant, and them totally acting like I'm cool with everything they say, I guess. So now, there's a reason why I drove this in is because I just want to know with this gay thing. Now they say that it's that oh well, it's not it's not redefining the marriage now. You know, they had to be careful about that, and they couldn't do that because if they did that, then and they already do, they teach our children in certain places about gay penguins at a little tiny. I read about this back in 2010, as early as that. That they have these liberals are so wacky that they are actually planting the ideas of being gay and whatever else into the young minds of people that are innocent, that shouldn't be messed with, that shouldn't have their minds altered either way to be straight or to be gay. They should be not be influenced by other people and things too that happen. They should naturally be able to find another person, be comfortable with that person, get married. But but now we're having a case of this is going to snowball. It has no that I've already seen with everything else because like a lawyer, I'm like a lawyer. I look at this thing like I look at prior cases. I look at other incidents that happened already, so I can take a compass or a type of guide from these other subjects, these other matters that have already happened. So other people who are actual lawyers look at that when they go into a court situation or anything. They like look at and see what other outcomes in court had. So as I see this saying that and going into a religious perspective, they're going to teach this indecency to children, which is actually an adult concept. It's a complete, it's above a man and wife, mom and dad. Um, you know, what did mom and dad do? Or whatever. Little kids wondering about their parents, whatever. Parents should not, I believe this, once you become a parent, you should not let on to your children about sex or what you're doing, any of that should be completely hush hush, quiet, and you should do that on your own time when they're not only just not looking but have no idea what the heck you are doing. That's what I believe. I believe if you have children, you should leave your sex life to yourself and not mention it or talk to the children about it. But this gay thing, apparatus, I call it an apparatus. It's a gay agenda, gay movement, gay structure, gay issue. To go forward is going to teach adolescents, it's gonna force itself like it's doing on everybody else, on adults even that don't really want that. We're against that right now at a bad time when we're at war with Muslims who cut your head off for being gay. So just to let you know that, Mr. President Barack Hussein Obama, you know that the Muslims that you are helping on the other side over there still hang gay people and still cut their heads off and cut Christians' heads off. He knows that, but he still does what he does anyways. Talking about Barack Hussein Obama. So the next issue that you're going to have with them in religious views is in the Catholic Church. I believe the Catholic Church is going to go right along with it. So they're going to act like they're offending Catholics or whatever this and that, but the Catholic Church will be the first church that will perform a gay marriage. They'll do it glad. They'll boast like everybody else about how proud they are that they, you know, might be helping out some people that are mistreated in some cases, in some sense. But it's we're taking the lazy route out of this by doing all this instead of going to work and actually coming up with a more ideal plan for these, because they're saying that it doesn't redefine the marriage now, but they're gonna bully churches. This is gonna snowball into where they're gonna teach your children. They're gonna plant the seed that they're gay, that they're even gay. Okay, so it's not just them telling the kids about that. They're going to plant the seed that your children are gay, meant to be gay, they should be gay, gay is okay, gay is great, and and it's still not to the majority of everybody else. The Unconstitutional Supreme Court is going to bully churches, and they're going to say, or else. They're going to say, or else. They'll threaten either like the priests, preachers, or ministers will either be threatened with jail, or they'll threaten the government is going to eventually threaten to close the whole church down for not performing a gay ritualistic marriage. So if you're a gay, I want to know a gay person that believes in Christ. If there's any gay people out there that believe in Christ, I want to talk to you. I don't want to just hear your name and know who you are. I want to have a physical conversation with you. So they're going to bully the churches. So here's the unconstitutional scheme of the Supreme Court as we move on. The U.S. Supreme Court will never, never in a million years support the common man's vote. The common man being us, we go and vote, we vote for the president, and that still, I believe, shows a lot in the power of the vote that we still have here in America. It might have been distorted a couple times, like in Nevada and in the last presidential election. But I believe as far as weight went in the next presidential election, that our votes, the powerful influence of the man, of ourselves going in and actually casting a vote is going to have a big And even though Democrats have been caught and known to distribute and tell other people that they register to vote for in the Democrat Party to vote and register more than once so that you can vote uh, more than one time. So they've been caught voting between 2 to 5 to 6, several more times. 5 to 6 different times they're putting in a vote. They're voting in different places for the president, for the local, everything, the whole thing, 9 yards. They've been caught by sheriffs, marshals, the United States police organizations have stomped out a couple different places practicing like that. They vote. They'll have one registry here in Florida. They have an address in Texas, and they'll vote in both places, and that's illegal. That's like should be like a 10-year prison sentence. So anyhow, even though they do that, I'm saying that the next presidential election, as far as I know, any down the road from here, I don't know how they can really distort them like they did in the last presidential election. Again, to be able to throw it off that much to not be with the will of the people when that happens. But the Supreme Court is unconstitutional and they're unruly and they will not ever they're not constructed to. It's like you have all these different things, the Congress, the Senate, that are balances and stuff to help balance so that our president don't become a straight off dictator, right? Well, the Supreme Court is set up so that we don't always have the will of our vote, so that we don't always get what the majority of us say we want. And the Supreme Court is there unconstitutionally against our constitutional rights to put us subjectively in that kind of case, in that scenario, to where they won't ever side with us. The issues that they think about it, any issue that the Supreme Court takes on, Roe versus Wade, gay marriage, anything, it doesn't matter. They're making their own unconstitutional decisions, and they're going to deal with it how they're going to deal with it, whether you like it or not. And it even comes down to sometimes even whether the president likes it or not. So the president is just like them. The U.S. president right now, I believe that they believe that the Constitution pertains to them. When they make laws for us, not for themselves, because they don't need laws to abide by. That's Hillary Clinton, 100 and how much ever above 100%, she's beyond 100% capacity with that, making laws for us that don't pertain to her. It's do as I say, not as I do. And while you're following along with me, always keep in mind that don't ever let a crisis go to waste. It's a Democratic motto that they use to stir up crap whenever there's a storm or some pandemic type of situation, something going on around, they jump right wholeheartedly right in, and it's never let a crisis go to waste. I just was thinking about that while I'm talking. I didn't have that written down or anything. I just want people to keep an eye and ear out for that and smell it too, and smell these Democrats. So, the common man's vote, and will always test our superiority as common people, same as Obama. Obama will always test people like him. The Democrats, this president will come in, will always test our superiority as people of what we decide. If we decide something heinous and just crazy and off the limb, we're fed up. Guess what? That's it. That should be the will of the people. But it's not, because we have an unconstitutional Democrat president, liberal. It steals the liberal label of being a liberal. When we're all considerate people out here. If we have something, when we're walking by, and there's somebody out there that's hurting or something, a homeless person or something, the majority of us, I still believe, if they felt it was a genuine case, somebody hardship, or even if not, I'd still give them a money, whatever. I just hope they wouldn't get in a worse situation than they are, but um, they stole the liberal label from everybody and took it as in, they're going to fight for all this and everything and be just and this and that. When at the same time, they're fighting the majority of everybody else. So that's why he is unconstitutional. That's why they are unconstitutional. Supreme Court justice. Come on, justice for who? Who's the justice for? They're trying to make it out for, oh well, these minorities and these other people need to have somebody to come along and tell them, these other people, what's right and what's wrong. And that's bullshit stuff that is not even right, doesn't even make sense, is unpractical. It's completely unpractical. Because that's also saying, like, we're so stupid, people out here, that we can't make a sound decision, you know? We can't make a sound decision whenever it comes to other people's lives. But that's the way they wanted it. So that's both sides. I wanted to say I have a viewer here. I don't know if they know what the hell I'm talking about or where I'm going with any of this stuff, but you should really probably, once I'm done here, you should probably look at this video, Unconstitutional and the Gay Agenda. It's on my channel on this piece of garbage right here. It doesn't let me go right to my page like that. I have to go to that first before I can show you, but it's right here. Independent media, high IQ. And it's on live right now, but when I'm done here in a minute, that's where you can go to the link. Anyways, so I wanted to say, both sides do that. I've been swearing up and down that liberals and Democrats and Republicans in particular are not the same. But if they come in and they push an agenda, they're no different than the Supreme Court or anybody else that's going to push you around and throw your constitutional rights to the wind. So now I was going to talk about Marco Rubio and Cruz also, why they were acting the way they were acting recently. Now it makes a lot of sense. This Democrat the other day wanted to talk smack after these innocent people were shot and killed by some asshole who went in and shot them. Wants to make a race war, something which ain't gonna happen. Wants to talk about Republicans. Well, what he said that oh, we're sitting here talking in Fox. I haven't watched Fox for like 5 years. Okay. But anyhow, the last time that they said anything about Obama's birth certificate, it was Sarah Palin was on there, and she said what she said was They shut me up. She's John McCain even shut me up and wouldn't let me say anything about Obama's birth certificate and that him being void of one. So it wasn't just the Democrats that did it. The Republicans also would not say a word about him not having an actual authentic birth certificate. So the guy wants to talk about that. Now you're opening the gateway for Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz both, who are somewhat in the same situation Obama is with the birth certificate situation, from what I understand. And now I see why Marco Rubio came down here and scoffed at his constituents over the sheriff, Arpaio, Sheriff Joe Arpaio's investigation on Obama's birth certificate. I followed that all the way because I'm in an organization called the Oath Keepers. It's like the Oath Keepers. I don't want to get into that. Where it's a constitutional, like sheriff people, like deputy. It's not like you're a real sheriff, but you we're in an organization with law enforcement people like the Oath Keepers. We want to make sure people don't get the constitutional rights stepped on. So I am particularly look out after mine and your uh, constitutional rights. It's not their constitutional rights, but anyway. So now I understand where why Rand Paul pointed that out. At first, when Rand said that, I was like, why did he say that? I thought he was being kind of a jerk and facetious, but now I understand. I understand why they don't want to do anything about Obamacare um, or about him not having a birth certificate. So it's all very true stuff. Like I said, also, if I have to, I will go. If anybody has comments or anything like that, has a question, and you can't look it up yourself and get any information of what I said, and you have any problem or issue with what I said, feel free to go to that link. You can leave a comment on there, and I'll do the research. I'm not just going to leave this up to anybody else going out and looking for your own information. You know, normally I would do that, but I think I need to take some things into consideration and be responsible if I do these broadcasts and I'm concerned. So I need to really know myself. I can't be ignorant if I'm out here saying something. I can't allow it something else to be a truth and be telling people a lie. So the internet's out there for everybody. I don't know what else to say. That's basically all I'm concerned with right now. Point. I'm ready to get off of here. I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm going to allow my viewer to say something or not. I'm going to put people on the spot. I would try to say it a different way. I would try to say it is, I'm just going to pause for a minute. And then I'm going to go. Since you didn't have anything to say, you can find the link on my page. I hope you enjoyed what I have to say. Thanks.